What's the one thing that truly separates a dream from a reality? It's not just luck, and it's definitely not talent alone. It's the simple, profound, and sometimes really tough power of hard work. Today, we're going to dive into some timeless wisdom that shows exactly how dedication is the tool we can all use to turn our biggest goals into something real. Let's get to it.
This quote right here, it perfectly captures the whole idea. Just think of your life, your career, your goals, your relationships as a garden. It needs you to show up, to tend to it, to put in the effort. Because if you neglect it, it doesn't just stay empty, right? It gets completely taken over by weeds. And those weeds are the chaos, the stagnation, the feeling of being stuck, all the stuff that thrives when we're not paying attention.
And this lays that metaphor out perfectly. On one side, you've got growth. That's intentional. That's where you get the fruit, the success. And on the other side, weeds. That's the default state. It's what happens when we just let things slide, and it leads to decay. So you have to ask yourself a really important question. Which side of this is getting your energy right now?
Which brings us right to our first section, work as the seed of growth. We're talking about the fundamental principle here, the idea that work isn't just, a helpful add-on, it is the absolute, non-negotiable starting point for anything you want to achieve.
This Nigerian proverb is so blunt, and that's exactly why it's so powerful. It just cuts right to the chase. Effort is directly tied to reward. It's about survival. Now, in our world, food might be a paycheck or a promotion or even just that feeling of personal fulfillment. But the principle, it's exactly the same.
So here's the bottom line. Thinking, wishing, hoping, all of that is free, but you know what? It gets you absolutely nowhere. Action. Action is the currency. It's what you have to spend to even get in the game. It is literally the price of admission for seeing any kind of result in your life. Passivity? Well, that just guarantees you a garden full of weeds.
Okay, so let's see how this builds. Knowing you have to act is one thing, but knowing how to act, that's something else entirely. This next part is all about moving from that core principle into actual practice. It's about learning how to build your own door.
I absolutely love this quote. It's a total mindset shift. It throws out that old idea of just passively waiting around for some lucky break. Instead, it puts you in the driver's seat. You're the architect, the creator of your own chances. It's a powerful call to take back control.
And this shows you exactly how to do it. It's brilliant. First, you see the wall. You have to acknowledge the challenge, the obstacle in front of you. Second, you design the door. You don't just start swinging a hammer wildly. You come up with a smart strategic plan. And then number 3, you start building. You take that first decisive action.
And the legendary coach John Wooden gives us the secret to that start building phase. You know how easy it is to look at the whole wall and just feel completely overwhelmed? Well, his advice is to focus only on the small part you can control right now. Just lay one brick, make one call, write one sentence. That's how doors get built.
And that idea of just laying one brick at a time, well, it's the perfect lead-in to our third section, the power of little by little. We've established that we need a plan, we need to take action, but now let's talk about the nature of that action, because it's not about one huge heroic effort. It's about relentless, steady consistency. This African proverb gives us such a beautiful image for such a powerful idea. A bird doesn't build its nest in a single day, right? It brings one twig, and then another, and then another. It's the slow accumulation of all these tiny, seemingly insignificant efforts that create something strong, something secure.
And just look at how this plays out over time. On day 1, all you have is one twig. It looks like nothing, right? But by day 10, those little twigs have started to form a real foundation. And by day 30, through that exact same little-by-little process, a home has been built. That is the magic of compounding effort.
But there's a trap here, and this proverb is a crucial warning. It's that fear of starting, because the task just feels too big. The person who's afraid of building the whole nest, they often never even bother to gather that first twig. And the risk of doing nothing, of doing too little, is always, always greater than the risk of just starting, even if it's not perfect.
So, where does all this lead? What's the ultimate result of all this focused, persistent door-building work? Well, that brings us to our final section, the hand that rules. And trust me, it's about more than just hitting one goal.
This is such a profound statement. It frames hard work not just as a tool to get something you want, but as the actual source of your power, your agency, your influence. By doing the work, you gain mastery over your skills, over your circumstances, and ultimately, over the direction of your own life.
And paired with that last proverb, this modern quote from John C. Maxwell just drives the point home perfectly. Your dreams, your ambitions, all your grand plans, they're just static energy. They have zero power on their own. You are the engine. Your work is the fuel that brings every single one of them to life.
And here's the wonderful paradox in all of this. As Thoreau points out, if you are truly lost in the work, if you're focused on building your door, on gathering that next twig, you often don't even have time to look around for success. It just finds you. It becomes the natural byproduct of your dedication.
Which brings us to the ultimate summary from the great Peter Drucker. Your future isn't something that just happens to you. It's not something you can guess at or just hope for. No, it is something you build, day by day, action by action. The work you're doing today is literally creating the person you're going to be tomorrow.
And that's really the crucial takeaway from all of this. This isn't just theory, it's a call to action. We've seen that you have to pay the price of admission, that you gotta build your own doors, and that real lasting progress happens little by little. So the only question left to ask is, what will you start building tomorrow?